From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The ongoing battle between Montana lawmakers and the state Supreme Court going to the U.S. Supreme Court, while lawmakers say they're mounting the appeal coming up. And heating costs for this winter may be the highest ever recorded. Coming up, learn which states are likely to be hardest hit by the rapidly rising prices. That lends us nicely into weather where it's not super cold out right now, not bad.
The furnaces haven't been running as much as they have in previous winters.
That's for sure.
But we do have our shot of cooler air heading this direction. Morning temperatures into the 30s. It's above average for temperature right now, but it's not. This is something we can handle. Temperatures at freezing or a little below. There is a chance of some showers as you go through the day. The model's showing there is a pretty decent chance of at least some scattered rain showers mixing with snow as you head into the late afternoon or early part of the evening. But again, look at these temperatures. Back into the 40s, windy conditions for the afternoon across the area. We'll talk about the timing of the wind, our chances of seeing rain or ice on the area roadways. That's all coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32 now. Republicans at the Montana legislature and Attorney General Austin Knudsen are trying to take their dispute with the state Supreme Court to a higher level, namely the U.S. Supreme Court. In a filing Monday, legislature asked the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene in the case. Earlier this summer, the Montana Supreme Court quashed legislative subpoenas that sought internal emails and documents from the court. GOP legislators said the documents might show that the state court is unduly biased against Republican-passed laws that may come before the court on constitutional challenges. Now, Knudsen and the lawmakers want the U.S. Supreme Court to rule that the entire state Supreme Court should have excused itself from ruling on the subpoenas. They say the court's refusal to have someone else decide the case is a violation of due process rules. Supreme Court Clerk Beth McLaughlin, a party in the case, says she'll be responding to the GOP filing later. The chances of the U.S. Supreme Court even accepting the case are slim. The nation's high court accepts less than 3% of the cases requested for appeal. Now, the Montana Supreme Court has upheld most of a $98 million judgment against an insurance company for asbestos-related injury claims from Libby residents. Most of the claims have been paid by the state to as many as 2,000 people for injuries caused by asbestos from the now defunct W.R. Grace vermiculite mine near Libby. The court fight is over who's ultimately responsible for the money, the state or an insurance policy the state held almost 50 years ago. In a 6-1 decision late last month, the state Supreme Court said National Indemnity Company is largely on the hook for the $98 million. That decision upholds a 2019 decision by a Bozeman district judge in the case that began a decade ago. That case now goes back to district court to decide two fairly minor issues that could alter the final size of that payout. Well, Montana's request to remove federal protections for grizzly bears along the northern Continental Divide getting some attention this week as managers from agencies all across the region gather for the annual winter meeting. MTN's Dennis Bragg has a wrap-up on the first day where bear populations and education also making headlines.
Montana Governor Greg Gianforte has been bristling over continued endangered species protection for grizzlies since he was in Congress. And Monday he took action, petitioning the federal government to declare the bears in the Northern Continental Divide ecosystem as a distinct species and delist the bears, turning management over to the state. And while he didn't add much to the governor's declaration, Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks Wildlife Division head Ken McDonald told his colleagues the FWP Fish and Wildlife Commission will be considering a revised tri-state agreement with Idaho and Wyoming for state management of bears, including hunting.
That MOA basically describes how the three states will manage mortality, and particularly discretionary mortality, should bears get delisted. So we're going to be asking our commission to approve that next week.
At the same time, McDonald says Montana is also taking steps to clarify the rules of how many bears may be taken before hunting is shut down on the NCDE, matching the standards in the Yellowstone ecosystem. And he told the committee FWP is moving to hire more field staff to manage grizzlies.
Recognizing that bears are expanding in all directions, including in the Bitterroot. And so for once, we're trying to get ahead of the bears. And so a person in the Bitterroot will be focused initially on a lot of outreach and bear prevention work. So hopefully when the bears do get there, we won't be in the middle of conflicts and starting from scratch.
And with bear populations continuing to rise across the region, preventing conflict with better education programs is another big theme in these meetings.
And some of that's the bear resistant containers, information, education, outreach, and the possibility, one of the things we're looking at is launching a new Bear Smart community program, what the value of that might be and how it could help us to avoid the loss of human life. And every one of us is committed to that.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
6:36, another news this morning. Maybe you've already noticed, but the cost of heating your home is going up. Natural gas bills are going up by 1/3 in many places. With inflation making household bills bigger, some people may find themselves in a position they've never been in before. Vanessa Michania shows us how aid groups are encouraging others to reach out for help.
Maine is a traditional kind of place, as many things work the way they've always have for decades. Lobster boats meeting the horizon early in the morning, the line blurring between fall and winter as the inevitable cold creeps in. And the willingness of Mainers to help their neighbors ahead of harsher days.
A number of us are volunteering as part of this initiative, which we're pretty happy to do.
Members of the local Rotary chapter in Biddeford are making window inserts for their low-income neighbors. Simple constructs of wood and plastic that help keep drafts from old windows out so those inside can save on heat.
There really has been a need, but I was surprised at how many people were just excited for anything that was going to help them save some money.
This kind of pitching in is high in demand, especially for this upcoming winter.
So if you don't know anything about Maine, Maine is cold.
Nikki Williams is from Maine's 211, an organization that hooks people up with necessary services, says it's already a struggle for many to afford to keep their homes warm. However, the pandemic is driving up prices all over the country.
We're getting those calls from people who are in that situation where, am I going to pay for food to put on the table, or my rent, or am I going to pay to heat my home?
The U.S. Energy Information Administration released an outlook ahead of winter, saying that the 2021-22 energy prices are at multi-year highs and disrupted pandemic supply and demand can be blamed. People who use gas for heat will see an average 30% rise in prices and an average increase of 40% for electricity. However, heating oil will see the biggest increase, increasing on average 43%, 59% if this winter turns out to be colder. With a large number of older homes in the state, oil is the traditional source of heat for most people in Maine, making Maine the most heating oil dependent state in the entire nation. However, another tradition that has stayed true in the state of Maine is not wanting to burden others. Only 20 to 25% of people who are eligible for heating assistance actually pick up the phone and ask for help.
We like to take care of our own. We like to do things on our own. So when someone is in a situation where they need help, it can be really hard to ask.
With current inflation making life in general more expensive, people across the country who have never had to ask for this kind of help may need to do so this winter. Those on the other side of the phone certainly hope they choose to call.
Every year I get a handful of calls from people who say that, I'm going to get emotional, that they received help in the past and that they're now in a position where they can help someone else. And you're like, oh, man, you just get emotional on the phone with them.
Even in an untraditional time, nonprofits and neighbors alike are ready to keep up the custom of looking out for one another, just like it has always been here. I'm Vanessa Michania reporting.
6:39, time for a break. When we